You're tuned into Floridian Rollo. What's going on? Walk away is the title of the video. That's right. Fellas and ladies, one of the hardest things for people to do is walk away. And the reason for that is that they still have an attachment to situations that no longer exist. You have to move forward. In order to get to the places you got to get to the things you need to do, that goes for all of us. You have to walk away. It's very hard to walk away because you put a lot of investment. You've been with this person for a minute. You invest in this person invests in you, however it may be, and things don't work out. You got to walk away. That includes the site. There's a site that you used to work at. You miss it so much. You talk about it more than anything else. You have to walk away from it. That's your past. That was your learning experience. We all had a place we once liked, had a good time, made some good money. I know I did. I have to walk away from it. It's no longer in my life. That was the past. I have to let it go. That goes for many of you too. I know it's difficult. You've been with a particular woman in your life. You seen full potential in her. She kind of seen full potential in you. And then she just let you know that she no longer want to be with you. She just wake up one day, or you didn't pay attention to the signs, and she woke up one day and said, I don't see this relationship going on forever. You have to let it be, especially if you've been with her for a minute. I know it's difficult. Vice versa with the ladies too, with the men. You have to walk away. And that's one of the hardest things for people throughout the world, to walk away for a better situation. You have to stay positive. You have to stay innovative. You have to move forward. The Most High want to continue to see you walk that narrow road to the best steps, his steps. He will not mishap step you. He will not make you fall back to your vomit. You make that decision, not him. He's trying to guide you, upfloat you, let you see what's going on. Gotta walk away. Got to walk away. A certain place ain't doing what they need to do, and you see the signs, you have a certain amount of time, and then walk away respectfully. Don't go back and forth with them. Yeah, you're going to get ticked off and pissed off because, they keep messing with you. I dealt with it. I just walked away. Sometimes I walk away with no plan. Sometimes I walk away with something. Sometimes I had nothing and I had to figure it out. So I'm just saying, when you get that astral knowing stress, you got that time period where you got to just remove yourself from that situation, because you're going to stress yourself out. You're going to stress yourself out. You can't blame the Most High. You can't blame Christ. You can't blame the Debo. You have to look at you to get out of that situation and walk away, knowing you did the right thing. And don't look back like, oh, did I make a mistake? Oh, the money was so good. It can be good. That doesn't mean the environment is good. Gotta walk away. You have to walk away, y'all. That's the most important thing. And a lot of you are missing out on your opportunities because you're not walking away from the situation. You're staying put. And then they right behind you and smack 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 you right back into the trap. And then they eat you up like this, blow the fist, and knock you out. And you wondering what happened to you. Now you're in more debt, Lord forbid. You're in more stress. You're in more turmoil. Now you're in the hospital every month. People are not going to change. You have to change. The environment you're in is not where you want to be. You make the necessary steps to get out of the environment you're in and get into the environment you need to get into. It's nothing wrong with change. Don't let nobody tell you changing for the better. Change is good as long as you are committed to who you are as a man, as a woman, as a child that's around family, that's supposed to make sure you are being provided for and services well taken care of. Walk away. It's not wrong walking away. Once you did what you're supposed to do, everything we do is only for a certain amount of time to begin with, because now the Lord is calling upon us to do something big for him. Okay? So always remember that. Walk away. I want y'all to listen to this video. Fair use, fair use, fair use. And then I will talk about it with y'all. Let me get it set up. Give me 1 second. I gotta make sure that I could use this video because they could copyright, the person could copyright if they want to. All right, let me do this. All right. Okay. Let's hear what this gentleman has to say. I found it. I should be able to use it. All right, bear with me, y'all. Here we go. All right, fair use, fair use.
Anyway, so there's Horus, and then there's the guy on the right there is Set, and he's like the precursor of the Christian representation of Satan. In fact, the name Satan seems to have been a transformation of the name Set. And Set is actually, he's like the god of totalitarian possibility, because in Egyptian mythology, he represents the evil brother of the rightful king, who's always plotting to overthrow the rightful king. And Horus is his natural enemy. And what this means, I tell you, man, it's really important. So I have in my clinical practice frequently people who are stuck in the middle of absolutely moronic bureaucracy. So I can give you an example of this. I just love this. One of my clients who worked for a large corporation, who's a pretty sensible woman, she was being driven mad by the political correctness that had infected the organization. And she sent me a 32 email letter exchanges that were circulating around the word flip chart. I don't know if any of you have heard the flip chart controversy, but it's pretty mind-bogglingly moronic. And so the deal was that somebody, you know what a flip chart is, right? It's one of those paper pads that you flip paper over. Well, it turns out, hypothetically, that flip is a pejorative term for Filipinos. And so they believed that the flip chart phrase was no longer acceptable because it was potentially offensive.
So basically, if I'm not mistaken, this is a person go by the name of Jordan Peterson. He's speaking of this. Hold on 1 second. Let me do something here. Hold on. Let me know y'all can hear me loud and clear. This person go by the name of Chaos and Order. Okay. Somebody say something in the chat. Hopefully y'all can hear me loud and clear. Let me check with my phone. Somebody say something in the chat. Okay, I can hear it. The mic is still on. Okay, here we go. Let's continue.
Offensive to Filipinos, although I bet they would have had to like vacuum up the whole planet to find one Filipino who actually cared whether or not someone called that a flip chart, you know, and that person would have had plenty of problems that were worse than that. Anyway, there was like a 32 serious email exchanges about what terminology should be used instead of flip chart, you know. So that's what people were doing instead of trying to actually have a life and do something useful. And it was
okay. That's basically that. The moral of the story is this, right? When you are dealing with confusion and you see a lot of confusion going on around you, you have to take the necessary steps to get away from that confusion and then get into something more peaceful. Now, from our experience, hospitality, depending on what you consider hospitality, is one of the best environments to be in because you back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you only stay around stationary for a little bit and then it starts picking up. When you are in these offices and you sitting most of the times and you're in a desk or you supervisor managing or you're an employer or employee, however the case may be, when you got too many eyes on you, that's because you are the star of that place. You didn't ask to become the star. You are the star of the light. So what ends up happening is nobody is used to your way of doing things. So you have to be cognizant of how you deal with these people who are not used to your energy. That's why most companies now are asking more pertinent questions. If you are on the site, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They ask you how you deal with other people. If you deal with nonsense, how you deal with it. They ask you these questions. Back in the days when I was coming up, they didn't ask those questions. Nowadays, they have to because of the construct of the environment, especially after wink-wink type situation happened during 2020 to now. So they're going to ask you more personal questions. Then if you know how to do the work, they'll figure that out with you later on. They want to know how you can interact with certain people. How can you have conversations? They kind of want to know more about you than the work you're doing. So that's why most people are walking away and doing their thing and just deal with whatever they got to deal with, because it's getting to a point that the way these sites is going, it doesn't matter the amount, because people are walking away from high salary situations, 150, 200,000, 300,000. There's so many videos on YouTube about that. And you ask yourself why these people walking away. They'll tell you their reason. Stress. Dealing with more than what they're supposed to. They're asking more from them than what they're supposed to. And it strains them out. So they would rather walk away. If you go to most places in other countries, they don't stress out their workers. They may not make the amount you make here or parts of Europe, certain other countries, yet the stress is so obliged on everybody, the man and the woman. You got people leaving hospital, RNs making good paper, and they walking out, the man and the woman. Some guys were doctors for a year or two and couldn't deal with the stress and the disrespect from the higher management, and they walk out and then even renew their thing, their license, their practitioner license. So there's a lot going on. I'm going to show you something, why people are quitting their jobs, why people are walking away from these things. Let's see what they say. Why people are walking away from jobs. I can't use that platform. I know that for sure. Okay, hold on one second. All right, this is, hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on one second. I'm looking for something. One second, hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm looking for it right now, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find it. So a man quits an $80,000 job to work in grocery store part-time, minimalism. Okay, let's listen to this, y'all. I found something that should be interesting for us to listen to. And I'm not telling anybody to walk away until you got certain things situated. At the same time, you know your mindset, you know the stress levels you could put up with and tolerate it. You know you're supposed to know yourself more than anybody. All right, here we go. That's very alarming.
Tween milestones may start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too. For most HPV,
Fair use.
It can cause certain cancers later in life. Ask their doctor about HPV vaccination.
I decided to simplify my life. For years, I was convinced that I had to make more money, and that money would bring me freedom and happiness. I was just scared of making a change. But as soon as I made that change, I knew right away that it was the right thing to do, because I felt like this weight was lifted off my shoulders. I got a pretty cushy government job right after graduating from university. So I had all this money. I was single, so I decided to buy myself a house. Bought a big house in the suburbs, 4-bedroom house, and my new obsession was buying furniture. And from there, I sold my house and bought a condo, kept the same job, kept making more and more money every year. For 11 years, I stayed in that job, and I had the golden handcuffs. I had the pension, the benefits. I was making $80,000 a year. I had all this freedom to go shopping. Money was a non-issue, so I could buy whatever I want. I could get all these toys, all these musical instruments, all these microfiber couches. But deep down, I wasn't happy. I would come home from work and I was miserable, and I dreaded going to work every day. So my job was super, super unfulfilling. It wasn't making me happy. Being in an office 8 hours a day, just sitting there at a desk.
Now, most companies, what they are doing now is letting the people be more away from the desk. From what I'm hearing, because of many people walking away from the office, which does pay a lot, is making their back. They're having issues with their back, walking. They're not getting that much sunlight. They're not getting that much time to decompose from the workplace, so most people are tired of just sitting and not being proactive. So they would rather do something less and get more things done after they do less than do more and don't enjoy the more they're getting. Everything has been reversed in society, for the most part. Let's see what else he has to say.
Staring at a computer screen, you're sitting down, you're not doing much, but it's actually exhausting. And I was trapped. I felt trapped. Once you get into this, you go on this path of buying things, you get addicted, and you feel like, you're stuck. And you have people around you telling you that, you're set for life. And it would be crazy to leave this job. Like, why would you leave this job? It'd be nuts. You're set.
And now that's a poignant statement, because people would say, why would you walk away for something that's so high? There's a lot of people who will take your opportunity. You are making a decent amount of money. You get to travel. You can have anything you want. Now, I don't know about him in a lady situation, because he said he's single. He don't discuss his relationship, so to say. So be as it may, he probably dealt with a few women here and there for a little season. It didn't work out. He's not going to put it out on the internet. I'm just watching his channel for the first time. He probably talk about his relationships. So now he went from that to work in a grocery store part-time. Let's see what happens.
I flipped out. I just flipped out one day and I realized, this is not making me happy. And I made some changes. And what did it for me is a silent retreat for 10 days and just did a lot of soul searching. And I realized, this can't go on. I quit my job, put the condo up for sale, and I just walked away. I was super scared, but I knew I had to change my life if I was gonna, be happy. And looking back, I have no regrets, 0 regrets whatsoever. It was the best move I ever made in my entire life. And now I work 3 days a week in a grocery store. I have a lot less money, but I have a lot more time. A lot more time to do the things that I love, spend time with people I love, do a lot of, personal work and personal growth kind of stuff, which is really important to me. And that's what makes me happy. So I have less money, but so that means you have to simplify your life. So I got myself a super small apartment. It's easy to take care of. I bike to work. I love biking. It's the cheapest way to travel. And, because I cut all these expenses, now I'm able to work only 3 days a week. Where I work now at the grocery store, it's, you might think it's, boring or mind-numbing, but actually I'm on my feet all day. I'm running around, dealing with customers and talking to people. And
As I explained before, it was bothering him and other people such as him that you stuck in this cubicle box, you're making good money. It just wasn't the money. It was the thing that came with it. And after 11 years, he realized he didn't have a social life, and he loved to travel. He loved to do different things. And he didn't want to be stuck in that rat race, knowing he make more money than the average person makes. It wasn't even about that. It was about his sanity. When you get to a point in your life, your sanity matters. You are willing to take a little bit less or a lot more less for your sanity than to continue and continue. And then you start having all types, Lord forbid, complications. Most people have that because they hold in the stress. They don't take time off in fear of this and that. It's a lot comes with it. You got to be careful.
Actually leave work feeling invigorated and energized. So once I downsized to a smaller space, that's when you realize, like, oh my God, I have a lot of stuff. And to me, having a lot of clutter in your physical space, to me, it makes me like have clutter in my mind. So it stresses me out. So when I sold my condo, I sold a lot of stuff. I gave stuff away. I put stuff away in storage. Living in a small space in my bachelor apartment, you're forced to live simply. You're forced to be more organized and just to be clutter-free. Of course, this is not the solution for everyone. It doesn't mean that, if you do what I did, that you're going to be happy. That's not what I'm saying at all. I still have problems. I still have challenges. That doesn't go away. But if there's something that you can change in your life and that's going to make you happier, you should do it. If, there are things you can't control, you have to accept that. But I think you have to have the courage to, take charge and make that change if you can.
All right. All right, that's basically that, y'all. So he walked away from something huge, and he's okay with what he's doing. He still say he deal with certain things. At the same time, he's happy of the change he made. He happy of the change he made. You know, he's working 3 times a day. He spend more time with his peoples when he can, and he's living a minimalism lifestyle. So he's enjoying what he's staying at. He's okay of coming from my house to a condominium to now a small size apartment. There's a lot of people doing that, you know, that's in that field. You'd be surprised. People are not trying to do too much of what they have like they used to, because it gets to a point. I remember when I was doing the stadium work at Shea or Yankee Stadium, and it was like 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? And it was like maybe 2 times out of the week or 4 times. Sometimes they was home a certain amount of straight days. Depends on the schedule. And I was just chilling. I was just like, okay, you know. So, and then with the U.S. Open, the same thing. I worked straight days. I enjoyed doing it. I got to interact with people and, you know, have conversations with people, you know, make sure they go to the right place. So what's happening with most men and most ladies is that they're going into environments that bring them peace. And they could deal with whatever stuff that's going on outside of that because they're in the place that they want to be at. When you're in the place where you want to be at, it tends to not bother you as much. You know how to deal with the situation because at the end of the day, you love what you do. And you don't bring your outside to where you at. You try not to, of course. And so when you walk away, just know you can't look back. You got to move forward. And your steps will be directed accordingly to what you're doing. And so with that said, thanks for the people that's watching. Thank you for liking the video, sharing the video. Let's continue to make that happen. You the people, if you want these type of conversations, you know, let me know what's up. As y'all know, I'm pivoting away from certain things. I'll talk about this here and there at the same time, you know. Appreciate your tuning in. Viewing from the clouds, whoever you are. You know, walk away from anything that is bothering you. If you want to have that conversation with the person, respectfully have that conversation with the person. If the person is not adhered to what's going on, yeah, walk away. Do that. Don't look back. Whatever they got to deal with, they got to deal with. That's pretty much about it. This is Floridian Rollo coming to you live. Continue to subscribe, support the channel different ways, and I'm out. Peace.